Hello there, hope everyone's doing well today. My name's Andrew Connors and this is our monthly newsletter, Minding Your Business. The newsletter we put out every month for business owners and the advisors that serve them. And what we want to talk about today is everyone's favorite topic, succession planning. If there was ever a topic that has been more heavily debated, I can't think of it, but I think it's also somewhat timely. Since 2020, we have seen M&A, mergers and acquisition activities, increase by 19% for small and middle market business owners. And here at our firm at Fairport Wealth, we have seen a big increase also in the number of our clients who are business owners who've been looking to have conversations and who have actually transitioned their business. And so, having obviously been involved in a lot of these conversations and transactions, it's very interesting to see what makes for good outcomes and what was all the pre-planning that took place to get there. And so there's a number of common themes, and I just wanted to share these today. I think succession planning is often thought about in terms of the how do we do it, and all the steps before that are often forgotten or not really given enough thought to. And so one thing real quick, when you're thinking about succession planning, it really can serve multiple purposes, which I think are really important. One, succession planning is really about identifying your goals, prioritizing what's important in my life and what's important in my business. It's important also when you think about succession planning, it's great for helping accomplish and assessing what's working and what's not working in my business, helping identify gaps and identifying strengths. And then thirdly, and the most important thing around succession planning is you drive the process. And if there's one thing I always share with people, if you are not driving the process, at some point it is going to drive you. And at the end of the day, you'd rather have your hands on the wheel than have someone else driving that succession vehicle. And so real quick, when we think about succession planning, most people, they get paralyzed. Right away, they start thinking, I need to start doing some succession planning, and they start with how. And that how do I go about doing this automatically paralyzes people. And I think Simon Sinek, for those of you who know Simon Sinek, I think he's a great thought leader, has great insights around business. And I think a lot of his business insights really apply to succession planning. And so Simon Sinek is known for the start with why. Before you do anything, start with why. And as it relates to succession planning, I think that's the best and most important place to start is with why. Ask yourself, why are you thinking about a transition? Why are you thinking, is now the right time for this transition to change? And changing your mind around succession is perfectly okay. It should always be a fluid process. But oftentimes there are triggers, usually around time, health, or wealth, that usually trigger somebody to start asking themselves, maybe I need to start thinking about succession planning. But before you start going down this path, ask yourself, why do I want to do this now? What's going on in my life? Secondly, when you think about succession planning, after you've asked yourself why, ask yourself, what am I really looking to accomplish? What are my goals? Am I looking to sell everything and retire? Perfect example is a client that we worked with and we kind of went through this process. His words, I want to sell my business, show up for work on Friday, be done on Monday. Other people might have a different idea of what they want to accomplish. Maybe they only want to sell a portion of their business, all but not a majority interest. Maybe they want to stay on for a couple of years. But understanding what is important to you is extremely important. On the personal front, what is important to you, as well as on the financial front. Are you just looking to really lock down your wealth so that you can enjoy your lifestyle? Or are you really looking to create and establish multi-generational wealth? Different questions, different processes. Third question you want to think about before you go into succession planning is, when do you want to kind of start pursuing this transition? Goals are best achieved when they're smart. And part of that smart goal setting process is putting a timeline. If you don't have a timeline, and it's okay to adjust your timeline, but if you don't have a timeline, odds are you're probably not gonna reach that goal. You're just gonna kind of spin your wheels. So understanding what's my transition time horizon. In 3 years, I'm looking to take a 50% less active role in my business, for example. Timelines can also be dollar driven. Maybe my time horizon is when my business reaches X amount of revenue, or when my business reaches a valuation of X. That is when I think I'm ready to sell the business. Or maybe if you're a family business, it's when the next generation is ready, as defined by this criteria, then I'm ready to more aggressively pursue transition planning. So that when is really important also. And the fourth point you want to focus on is the who. Who do you think you might want to transition to? People have strong opinions, pros and cons, about transitioning to private equity firms. Maybe if you're a family business, you'd like to keep the business in the family, and that is your driving priority. But understanding the who helps you align and better achieve your personal and financial goals. So after you've asked yourself these questions, the why, the what, the when, the who, you can finally get to the question that most people start the process with, and that is the how. How do I go about doing this once I know what I want to achieve and when I want to achieve it? Maybe an ESOP, an employee stock ownership plan might be important for you. Maybe a family transition is what you've targeted. Maybe you want to maximize the sale of your business and you might want to focus on a private equity or strategic buyer. But focusing on the questions before the how is what I think I have found leads to the most successful outcomes. And being deliberate about asking these questions in successive order. And I think also what's equally important is, asking these questions of yourself, but think about who's on your personal advisory board. These are often, whether it's someone in a peer mentoring group, someone like myself, or other individuals who you have a trusted relationship with, who can you have these conversations to and have them reflect back at you? So I think these are just a little bit of the groundwork you might want to think about when you're thinking about succession planning in your business a little differently, so that when you do go down that path, it is not a wheel-spinning, paralysis-pursuing endeavor. It is something where you take deliberate and continuous steps towards a desired outcome. So hope this is helpful. Hope you have a good day. And if there is anything we can do at our end at Fairport Wealth to be a resource, we're here to help.